Washington has billions in surplus revenue right now, and state lawmakers can use it to help employers recover and create jobs. Coming up on AWB Amplified. The state legislature has an extra $11 billion right now, and this does not include even more revenue from federal relief dollars.
The $11.2 billion is about 17.6% of revenues in the next biennium. And the next highest surplus as a percent of revenues that I found at the November point in time in the revenue forecast was 5.5% in 2005. This is way higher as a percentage of revenues than anything going back at least 20 years.
Much of this surplus came from taxes on Washington employers who pay nearly 50% of all taxes. State legislators have added more taxes recently, 22 tax increases over the past 3 years. These taxes will generate about $40 billion over the next decade. If there was ever a time when Washington could easily afford tax relief, it's right now.
Given the really substantial surplus the state has right now, the legislature could easily choose to reduce taxes for employers or for the public and still maintain a balanced budget that's sustainable for the future.
Employers have done their part to keep our state's economy afloat over the last 2 years. They've made payroll, kept employees working, and played a major role in the vaccine rollout. Unfortunately, many are still struggling. Washington is a relatively expensive place to do business, with workers' comp and unemployment insurance taxes among the highest in the country. Washington ranks 9th in business taxes per employee. Tax relief would allow employers to reinvest in our communities and create jobs. Here are a few bills that would do just that. Senator Mark Mullet has sponsored Senate Bill 5957, which would provide significant tax relief for Washington's manufacturing sector. The manufacturing sector supports more than 300,000 family wage jobs in Washington. Good jobs that pay $80,000 a year on average.
If you have a robust manufacturing sector, you have something for a wider variety of kids to get into.
For every manufacturing job, another 7.4 are created. So when you have robust manufacturing within your community, you also are then adding to the strength of all of your other sectors.
If we're not careful, we're just going to end up being a state with a bunch of tech jobs in Puget Sound, and that's it. So that's why I think it's important to make these investments now to keep this sector thriving in Washington.
And Senator Lynda Wilson has introduced Senate Bill 5769, which would eliminate the B&O tax for manufacturing, repeal the capital gains tax, and offer significant property tax relief.
Always tax reduction is better. When you give more money back to the businesses, that's when they can look into do more research and development. They can hire more people. They can build more products.
Additionally, Senator Emily Randall's Senate Bill 5901 creates a manufacturing sales and use tax incentive program for targeted counties. Employers say these bills would help them reinvest and create jobs.
In 2021, out-of-the-box manufacturing spent $64,000 on B&O taxes alone. We could have hired a highly technical individual for our manufacturing floor. We could have paid for some incredible training for our employees. We could have purchased computers or software systems. There's just so many other things that we could have done with that money.
Our employers have done their part to help us all survive the pandemic. With a record surplus, now's the time to talk about tax relief for employers. These are people who make great products, create jobs, and invest in our communities.
Now's the time. We have the budget to do it, and I'm worried if we don't do it this year that it's not going to happen.
AWB's Tax and Fiscal Policy Committee is following this issue closely. To learn more, contact me at tommyjg@awb.org.